Okay. Hello, I'm live. I've been talking to myself for 5 minutes. Sorry, YouTube just absolutely broke when I clicked go live, and it told me that I wasn't allowed to log in, and then that I had a duplicate stream key when I tried to go live again. So I think I fixed it. So anyway, what I was talking about when I was talking to myself is that I've updated Belly to 0.11. I did this at like 1 a.m. So it's not the best port ever. It's mostly just a rename. And then the next day, went through and fixed the actual bugs, such as things like they originally had the cursor inverted because Bevy's cursor system was inverted, like it was top left to bottom right, sort of thing. Like coordinate 00 was over here, and then they updated it so that the bottom's down here to match with all the other coordinate systems in Bevy, and so that meant that the code here that flips the cursor now needed to be unflipped, and there was something else. There was some weird bugs. Oh yeah, there was things like they changed how overflow worked, so I had to work out how Belly's macro extracted overflow. So it basically boiled down to it needed to parse it, and so I need to work out how the parser worked so that I can say visible clip X, clip Y are now variants of overflow, which weren't originally available. Yeah, so and I just had to remove the enum implementation. So there was just some weird stuff that I had to do. But hopefully Belly is now up to date. Well, this is the... how did I end up here? It's weird. Yeah, so I just made all these changes. I pushed it. The author said he'll review it in 1 to 2 days, 3 days ago. So who knows? I think he's just busy. It's a somewhat big commit in terms of like... I think it said like 1,000 lines of code or something got changed. But that's probably partly to do with the fucking lock changing because of the Bevy version. I just want to see, like, somewhere it's got to tell me how many lines I added. It's like 33 lines here, 2 lines there. So there was quite a lot of changes, but a lot of them were just like, startup systems became startup systems. I'm glad that everyone appreciates that I did it. Like, a lot of people are like, yes, thank you for updating. So I figured now that I know Belly exists, because the big thing that stopped me on the Bevy platformer, like the big thing that stopped me continuing this series, was I tried to implement the editor UI, and it just turned to shit. It just took so long to try and implement a grey square in the corner that I didn't like it, and so I gave up. So what we can do now is go like commands and be like, I don't need any of this stuff for now. Let's just clear all this out. We're just going to clear all of this away. And we're going to go... I don't even think we need this. I guess clean up. We will go mute elements. Which we should probably use the Belly prelude. Use Belly prelude. So for those that aren't aware of Belly, I made a video on it like last week that went over. It's just basically a library built on top of Bevy that lets you basically write HTML code as your Bevy. It's elements, not element. Yeah, so it lets you write like HTML style code, and then it will convert it into Bevy components and actually implement and maintain everything, which is just incredible. So we're going to be like select. We're going to be like hashtag level. Edit tool. Editing. Okay. And then we want to go like, I don't know what's next. Remove. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm saying elements. So that's all the UI related stuff. Select anything that has an ID of level editor and remove it. Like, so let spawn it in all its children. So then we can go like commands dot add. Okay, so it's going to do that, and I'm going to okay, I found this macro panicked. That's weird. We should probably do something like that? Is it that? Div. Okay, so just to stop that macro from panicking, I'm going to run the system just so that you can see. Probably should have done this before, just so that like I've got a baseline so that everyone can see what the game looks like before, and therefore how easy Belly makes it to implement amazing looking games. I should also check things like, did I upgrade it? Yeah, the editor please is the French. Yeah, so depressingly, the editor please is a bit busted. Its camera doesn't work properly, like you can't move the camera for some reason. And so it won't get a crates release until the maintainer goes in and fixes it, which is somewhat annoying, but it's still most of what I use it for. It still works, which is being able to see components and change values while the game is running. Some of you may have also noticed that I'm finally monetized on YouTube. I feel really bad for the people that now have to watch ads, but from what I understand of me watching my own videos on my other account, YouTube was already, or no, not even on my other account, on its own account. My other account's premium, so YouTube was putting ads on my videos anyway, so I don't think it'd make that much difference to people, except that I actually now make some money out of it. But I also think that that's partly why when I would start a stream, what the fuck? Why is the audio bitrate 0? I hope people can hear me. That'd be really funny if you couldn't. Anyway, yeah, so I suspect that's why when I start a stream, I'll have like 7 people waiting to watch and it'll immediately drop to 2, is that everyone got an ad, so they're no longer watching. Because it says that when the ad's done, they'll rejoin the stream. So I'm curious if that's why I would say. Okay, good, thanks, you can hear me. It popped up on my console saying that the audio bitrate 0, and that's lower than it expected. And it's kind of going, yeah, if the bitrate 0, that means there's no audio. It's not even a warning, it's a suggestion. It says suggestion. The audio bitrate is 0. Audio bitrate 0 is lower than the recommended bitrate. We recommend using an audio bitrate of 128 kilobit. That's just a weird if your audio is bitrate 0. Yeah, so some people maybe. You finally got to watch the live. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Yeah, I've noticed because some of my videos, like the first Minecraft live, that blew up. Like, I was staying at my girlfriend's house on my phone looking at that, and that live stream just kept getting more and more views, and more like, because the way you can tell the YouTube algorithm's caught it is because it'll get more view hour over hour. Like if it's getting the same number of views, it's probably just your subscribers or whatnot. But if it's getting more views every hour, it's caught in the algorithm. But I was going like, it's the most viewed video probably on my channel now. And yet people were watching it for like an average of like 2 minutes, because what ends up happening is one person watches the live stream for the full 3 hours and then so everyone else just watches for like 10 seconds. To the YouTube algorithm, that's the equivalent of people watching my other videos for like the entire length, because they're 10-minute videos. So you can have a lot more people not watch the video on live streams and still the YouTube algorithm loves it. Yeah, it is weird watching like the live streams. YouTube clearly only counts your watch hours when you stop watching, because people will watch the live stream VOD and 3 hours later I'll gain 3 hours of watch time. But you know, when I'm getting lots of views, I'll constantly gain watch time, so it's obviously some kind of like, it only counts it when you're done. YouTube's analytics are fucking weird. And depressingly, Bevy's decided to take a long time to compile today. I don't like that. I see Bevy core 0.9. What have I got in here that's 0.9? Don't be Leafwing. I'm sure I had this working, so it's not the inspector. I should probably do that. Something's 0.9. So clipboard. Anyhow, but so these aren't Bevy. This should be compiling. Oh, we'll just do 0.9. Don't be you. Well, actually, I'd rather it be you, because the Bevy inspect EGUI rapier would mean that I can just turn it off because it's not actually required. I don't want it to be Leafwing because I actually used that. But that's so dumb. Well, it can't be Leafwing because I'm including Leafwing as a plugin. So it can't be any of my plugins. That's what's confusing me, because all my plugins have to implement 0.11 because that's the Bevy app that I've got here. Let's make sure of that. Yeah, so the app's 0.11, so you can't stick a 0.9 plugin into a 11 app. So that basically translates to whatever it is, I'm not actually directly interfacing with it, which makes it most likely to be the editor implementation, this one here, because that's implemented by a macro. So, oh, it even says 0.9, so I'm guessing that's outdated. Because I'm pretty sure we got a main. No? Yeah, see, I'm not actually using the plugin, so I'm guessing you're 0.9. Anyway, again, it doesn't really matter, because if it's not even in the thing. Version 0.9, keywords Bevy. Yep, there's Bevy version of 0.9. I don't even think I'll go and bother updating that. It's old. But that would explain. I should probably deactivate that dependency, because that will make it compile like way faster. Then maybe not, because it's already finished compiling everything. Just gotta comment that out. Yeah. So I hope you're enjoying the catching a live actually live. Okay, let's let's kill that, because it's now it's compiling Bevy 0.9, which, you know, it really doesn't need to do. Now the Rust analyzer's caught it. God damn it. I tried to be prepared for the stream, I really did. I went out of my way to make sure that I included Belly so that the Rust analyzer would compile it. Like, I did all this before the stream. I just didn't realize that this wasn't updated, because I updated to 0.11. Oh no, 0.10 made it work, then updated to 0.11 and made it work. Like, because 0.10 one I just did off camera when 0.10 came out, and then I think I forgot to commit to the GitHub, so I don't think anyone even got to see it. And then I updated to 0.11. But that means that it was working. And then I've since broken it. Okay, click run on you. And now it just waits for the Rust analyzer to shut up. Maybe we'll just turn the Rust analyzer off. Can you stop? No. Building. Why are you like this? Oh, because I've turned the Rust analyzer. Turn the Rust analyzer back on. It'll get there eventually. I've just got to try and entertain all 5 of you. I wonder if there's an add button. YouTube said there's an add button. Oh, there is an add button. Click the little add button. I just want to spam the add button because it's funny. It's not like you guys would miss anything if I did, but I feel like everyone would stop watching because I'm just clicking the add button. Right. Well, I'm going to click the add button just to see what it does, because there's apparently like interface things that it'll tell me. I think I turned auto ads off, so I have to click the add button. But also it says that it'll tell me like how long are left on the ads or something before people get back, or maybe that people are going to get an ad in 30 seconds, and therefore I can say like, no, don't give them an ad because would be interrupted by an ad. But I'm going to click the add button and see what it does. So all of you non-premium, enjoy the ad. Oh, ad inserted. Oh, it's just going to load more. Oh, it went away. Oh no. I probably should close Steam. It just keeps giving away who my friends are. Has everything frozen? It's just perpetually loading now. It's just giving me lots of warnings. Good condition. Oh, we're finally into compiling. Error. YouTube is no video to maintain smooth videos, such as my experience buffering. Okay. Well. Open a widget. Oh. Weird. I can insert another ad. Well, it's finally get to compiling, so. Did anyone actually get an ad? I'm curious. Like, well, I'm asking this without knowing if people are back from the ad yet. Well, I just went up a viewer, so I'd have to assume that whoever got the ads back. Or nobody got ads, because, like, it did say that it's possible that people won't get ads. I don't know how it decides that. It's probably like YouTube has some kind of like to prevent people from leaving. You only get ads so often. So if you join a live stream and immediately the streamer starts an ad, you don't get it because it's like you just watched an ad to start the stream. Didn't get an ad, the stream just buffered. All right, well, yeah, that's what happened on my end as well. I clicked insert ad and then the stream just buffered on the live preview. I'm gonna try clicking the button again. An ad for a dog vacuum. Well, it sounds like you're the only person that got an ad. Maybe I should start selling dog vacuums. The YouTube's telling me something. Alright, well, since someone got an ad, I'm not going to click the ad button again because that just seems cruel. It's taking forever. Yeah, I'm gonna give you everyone, like, while they wait for this to compile, a sneak peek of my my next video that I'm working on. Look at all these components in the Bevy Rapier crate. I finally learnt like regular expressions, at least enough to find all the components, because I was like, I need all the components for the video. So I did like a regular expression searching for hashtag open brackets any number of characters comp, which means that you'll find. Maybe I should have said something like use mold. No, I just use default. When I first got Rust, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna set it up perfectly, and then I couldn't even get Rust to compile like with no libraries, so I just went, you know what? I'm not fucking touching compilers. I don't understand them. It's the same reason that I never learnt C++. I could not work out how to get the compiler to work. Like I outside of like compiling pre-made projects by other people, which usually ends up with you're not learning anything. You just end up doing what the other person does. Needs to start with dir. There we go. Now I don't get those horrible like reflect component as well. Anyway, yeah. So I'm working on a video about if I bring this over, Bevy Rapier, because a patron asked for it. So yeah, like. I should look into that kind of stuff, but I find the compile times are fine outside of the first compile. Like, the first compile is just dog shit slow, but if I did it properly, I would have compiled it before. I'm gonna check my crates stuff as well. Crates.io. I published my Bevy Sprite animation to crates.io the other day. Hey, there it is. It's had four downloads. That's awesome. That's incredible. It had 11 on one day, 220 today. I love that. Yeah. Probably should upgrade the README. So you reckon the mold compiler? Man, my viewer count is fluctuating ridiculously. I wonder if that was. Anyway, mold. I'll look it up. Mold linker. Windows. So you'd have to explain, like, what is, like, oh, YouTube's decided that I didn't have that dropped to 2 viewers. I'm getting sidetracked again. What does the linker actually change? Because, like, I'd have to imagine that using a faster linker. It's like, why doesn't Rust just use a faster one to begin with? Does it sacrifice performance of the application because the linker may not do a good job, or is that the responsibility of the compiler entirely to make sure that basically it's as fast as possible and that the linker is just better? Because like, I don't know why Rust would use an intentionally slow linker unless there was a trade-off between a faster linker. Which, yeah, as a streamer, parallel linking. Oh, okay. So yeah, like as a streamer, I should definitely go for the fastest linker, like because of what I do. Anyway, this is what the game currently looks like. Oh man, I forgot that I actually made a working game. It's been a long time. Uh-oh. Try and get to the fruit, try and get to the fruit. It's so clunky. Get a fruit, get a fruit. Ah, I touched myself. Touch myself. It just uses more cores. Interesting. Because that's like I don't understand why Rust wouldn't automatically select that linker. Maybe it's a legacy thing, like you have to install mold, whereas the whatever linker it uses, the LLVM linker or whatever it's called, might just be pre-installed by something else, so it's like it doesn't need to make sure people have it. I don't know. Anyway, so that's what the game currently looks like. Maybe we should work on the main menu, but yeah, let's port what's currently in the game. So that's what the menu at the moment currently looks like. Maybe I should have taken a screenshot of it and just put it. Can I do that? Yeah, let's do that. Just to, you know, I'm gonna spice up the like the production value of my stream. So what we'll do is we'll go. That's what it currently looks like. And then we'll go to paint and we'll go, yes, hello this, and then we're gonna file save as. And we're gonna save this into YouTube Raw. And this is gonna be old. That's not how you menu. Right, old menu, and then we're going to go into OBS, and then we're going to go, hello OBS, can I add a picture? I think I can add a picture. Yeah, image. And then we're going to go, add existing. Create new, just called old. And then you're going to click OK. Can I then, okay, browse, and then we want to go like to YouTube, and go like YouTube raw images. I'm going to go like one called old UI. We're going to open that. We're going to click OK. Yeah, hey, like this is what the old UI looked like. I hope there's nothing in that corner you guys need to see. Just the preview of the code. So yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So now you can all see what the old menu looked like, so that you can see as I change things, like how awesome Belly is. So what we need to do is we're like load it up. So we probably want to go to assets, and we want to go new file called main.ess. Okay, then we need to go and cheat, and we're going to go over to not Minecraft clone. Damn it. Don't have anything good open. Open folders. I always have so much shit open and I never have anything good open. YouTube. Yeah, okay. So if it doesn't support everything. But this one's like, I wouldn't have, it's obviously like mold hasn't caught up, so it's a maturity thing of the linker. But like, why wouldn't they just make the current linker parallel? Like, that's more my question. What do I need? I need to go like, plant game, no, plant game maybe. We need to find Herbal Alchemy. Herbal Alchemy has the file we need to steal. I need not GitHub, VS Code, not launch settings. Okay, so copy this, paste this. Don't paste it there. Yes, undo. Paste it here. Thank you. Not inside assets. Move it out. Move this fucker. This is the one thing I don't like about Visual Studio Code is you can't. It's really hard to paste things into the main directory because if you've selected anything at all, it just do this. It doesn't do it. Anyway, so we have this, which says that .ess files are treated as .css files, which means we can go here, and now it's treated as a CSS file. Makes the autocomplete easier. So what are we doing? We are going to go menus, and then we need to go somewhere up here. We go make buttons. No. At the top, we need to fn set up belly. Right. So the setup belly will literally just take in commands. so, and like that, and then we're going to go commands dot add, and then we need to go up to the top and use belly. Use belly prelude. There we go. So quick. Style sheet load, and then we load path in its main.ess. I wonder if it's cheeky enough to like check to see if it's got a file extension. Load command path.toString load command apply world cell parse. No, it seems to just read it. Yeah, so it just passes it. That's sad. Okay. What are we doing? So we add our main, and then we go up here and we go insert resource. No, wait, no. We need to add system. Add underscore systems update. I kind of wish they didn't deprecate add system. Like, it would have been nice just to be like, add system is your default way of adding shit, and add systems is how you add things to schedules. Just because it would just be nice for like not having to port all that old code to, you know, literally just be like extra S and then update, because it just, but it does bring everything nicely in line. So I don't know, maybe it's a sacrifice worth making. I just found when I was porting shit, it was just so annoying that it was like everything had yellow lines through it, but it wasn't technically wrong. All right, so setting up belly, we add the style sheet in. So what do we go? On enter, we set up main menu. So we need to go to set up main menu, and we go commands, and we get menu font. I wonder if I can specify that font. Like, surely belly will let me style sheet add a font or something. Commands dot add. Can I go like style style sheet? Nope, can't from welder. I was gonna see if I could set the font. Surely there's some way to set the font, but I'll have to look into that off camera because that'll take me forever to find. Right, so how does this work? We command spawn a node bundle, add menu item, and add children. And we have, so the children are what we need to keep. Play, edit, custom, base. Okay, so what we do is we're just going to recopy this. We're going to go commands dot add ml. Can you please do this? This, and this, and this, and this, and then we're going to go. Okay, so we're going to go something like body. No, we're going to say div class. Menu. Okay, and then we close the div like this. Div. Okay, so we have our menu div, and then we're going to say we want a button, and that button's going to have on press equals run. CTX, and then we go. We need to close the tag button immediately. Hello, hello Mac. Man, every time I do a stream, I get more people than I did the last time I did a stream. Anyway, context commands dot add mute world. What do you mean cannot? Okay, move. No, not mute. Move. So for those that don't know, this is how you currently with Belly interface with components, like resources. Like if you need to set a resource, this is the only way. Resource mute. Next state game state dot set game state play. Is this how you do it? Is this how you do it? Okay, I think this is how you do it. Cannot infer type, need type annotation. World. Right, no, this is world mute world. Yes? Yes, okay. Do you have a label? Are you gonna really learn how little I know about Belly? I ported the whole thing and I have no understanding. I always just forget shit. I'm just like, I'm sure widget prelude, input prelude, button prelude. Okay, button prelude, button. Okay, buttons have the parameter pressed mode value. Let's just lock that up there. How have I already opened so much crap? Don't want you, don't care, don't care. Okay, this is menu, this is button, and we go, hey button, you have value, and that equals menu. I don't know if that'll work, because I'm curious if I need to specify a label. Let's go. So on setup menu, and then so this adds the command. So commands won't execute to the end. So we also want to say, probably comment all this out for one thing, just so that we don't end up with a broken, like spawning menu on menu and not working out why. We need to have like an fn clean up menu, which is going to take in. Wait, didn't I already get new elements like so, and then it's going to go elements.query select anything with a class of menu like that, and then we're going to go remove. Okay, clean up, define. Okay, we're going to say this is clean up old menu. Okay, so up here we say add system. I guess we can just add it here. So it goes, so we have setup belly, and we also have cleanup old. And cleanup old is going to run if state changed, and the state that we are reading is game state. This should, because it's in the update menu, mean that we call cleanup menu whenever we are going to change menus, and then we spawn the new menu when we actually enter a menu. So this should be called before the command flushes happen, which means that it shouldn't despawn the menu that we just spawned. I say that, I hope that's true, but you know, it never really is. All right, well, it crashed immediately, so that's fun. Oh, we haven't added the belly plugin. That would be helpful, wouldn't it? Menu. Let's go right at the bottom. Dot add underscore plugins belly prelude belly plugin. All right, run that. I don't think much more should compile because, you know, belly's already compiled, it's just not used. Okay. And with that magic, hey, we have a very tall button. So this is the absolute power of belly. So you guys can see in the top corner there, or at least when it comes up, that's what our old menu used to look like in the top right corner there. And this is what our new menu looks like. It's just a white bar. So we're going to say dot menu. And we're going to say that your width is like 33%. Your margin is auto. and your height is 66%. That should... I didn't watch for changes. The new menu looks fire. Yeah. Where we go? Main, default plugins, image plugin, nearest. Okay, and then we go here. We go dot set asset plugin. Watch for changes is a change watcher with delay std. Watch. I gotta check this. I check this every time, and I'm fairly sure it doesn't. It doesn't have default. Bevy, please add default. I really hate that I have to go like std time duration from let's go with nearly 50 milliseconds. Like, why can't it just say like, let's give you a default of 50 milliseconds? Default. No, like if I could just say watch changes default, that would be awesome. But instead I have to specify how long my watch change, because I'm sure it said in the changelog that it was 50 milliseconds by default, and I'm like, but it doesn't have it by default. Anyway, I gotta stop the game running. Gotta restart it with watch for changes going, otherwise it won't detect my changes to here and won't repass it. Which, oh my god, watch for changes is amazing when you have a system that actually uses it. Anyway, now it's in the middle of the screen. We can also say like background color is, let's say like gray. Now we should be able to see it. Okay, and then we can go like dot menu button. We want to say margin is auto, padding. Is it padding? Padding of like 10 pixels. Okay. Epic color. Yeah, grey. Epic. Maybe it's here we want the padding? No. And then I want you to be width of 90%. Maybe an auto margin with a width of 90% is what we want. Yeah, I mean, kind of. Yeah, okay. And then a height, min height of like 25 pixels. Okay. And I'm going to say that you're not a height, you're a min height. Min height, we're going to say not none. Min height is 33, let's say like 50%. Just so it's got like a, it can be so small, but it can't, but it will grow if I add more buttons. Okay, so then we want your flex direction, flex wrap, flex grow, flex shrink by flex direction rows, columns. Maybe? I don't know. I think we'll have to add more buttons before we do that. So that's what our new menu looks like so far. And, you know, not really that impressive until we go and look at the actual code that implements that new menu, wherever the fuck it went. Oh, because I'm in main. Menu, and then we go down here and we go hello, hello. So that entire menu is implemented with like that much code, and it's not, oh, I guess we can leave the, you need to not be that, but instead be that, and say, please close button. Okay, and then you just simply do this, and you go label, and then you're going to have a value that's equal to menu. I also like that this HTML pass is more well put together than the one in Elm. Like, I tried to do websites with Elm, and if you want to put like a string, like a string literal like this, you still need to wrap it. Maybe you didn't, but I'm pretty sure you had to do that because it was a Rust type. Like, so you had to say, I'm breaking out of the macro to give you a literal to put in. And that was like, oh, that's not much fun. Anyway, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go paste, and this one's going to say, this is settings, play, and then say, what were our other options? Our game state. We're going to say level base 64. And so this is just gonna say base 64, and this is base 64. We should probably call it. It's just gonna. So the value of the button is if I include these in a button group, I can make it so that you can like select a specific button, and when the value changes, load it corresponding. So this is level name, base 64. So name, and this is gonna be the same. It's gonna say name. Okay, and then we will add one last button that just. The final button, which is level editor. Level editor. And it's just going to say, I'm just going to copy this. Level editor. E-A-D-A-T-O-R. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, okay. That is a very valid point. Why is the play menu labeled menu? That's called me not thinking, because I was going, it's the top option, so it's the menu option, but it's not the top option. The top option is the default option, which is the menu. Hey, look at that. Immediately, we have our buttons. They're all laid out properly. They're all set up properly. We can probably make our font a little bit bigger. So I think, is it here? This is where Belly doesn't quite propagate things, I don't think, because if I say like font size, first off, it doesn't pass that, which personally I think is a little bit of a missed opportunity. 20. Yeah, you passed that? Okay. See, it doesn't seem to... yeah, it looks like an actual GUI now compared to the old one. Like, it doesn't have those horrible, like, and it's all centered by default, like, oh, it's... And it's way like more maintainable, because in the old one, it's like every new menu needed a new struct in order to, or an enum, in order to separate what each button did. Like you couldn't, but like this is the thing. I wish font size propagated to children. Like if I say 50, the font doesn't get any bigger. I need to go like, dot menu, button, label, like that. And then if I say font size like 50, it should work now. That should propagate to the children. Yeah. So it annoys me that I can't specify that the button's font size is this value. I have to specify that the button's label's font size is this. But now we have really big buttons, and when we click... Okay. Well, something was supposed to happen. I think something's broken elsewhere, though. Why did it not change? You know what? If I could request anything from the Bevy editor, which I might just do, because every time I've gone, I want this feature, I've just gone out of it. If it kept track of like states and just debug logged every state that you're in, so that I don't have to write systems that do dumb shit like just print the state that I'm in. So let's just go to the menu and go, why did this not work? Probably because onPress is wrong. Let's just cheekily migrate our way over to you and go here and be like, hello, you have a menu, yes? Menu. Yes, menu. This is also using... Okay. This isn't using Belly? What do you mean? Herbal Alchemy uses Belly. Why is this not using Belly? I swear this uses Belly. It does. So why? Okay. It's a tab. Oh, I use Belly for the tabs, not for the menu. Kill menu or play or whatever. I kill menu. I'm just gonna quickly like, how does this buttons work? Like it literally could just be that on press doesn't do anything. Fuck. This doesn't do it either. This one, literally on this one, I'm I'm using the button groups to change the tab, which isn't gonna work for what we're doing. can I search for like run? Yeah, run. So if command insert command target potion. So it's on press run. Okay, that's what we're looking for, and I think that's what we've got. On press run. Yeah, context move. So when you press this, you command to add next state game state set play. Can I get you to print line, and I want it to be the debug value of world dot resource state game state. So this will print what the current game state is, just so that if I click a button multiple times, it'll it should say play the next time I click it, but should say menu the first time I click it. Most likely what's happening is I've axed the so it's in state menu, and then when I click it again, it should say it's in state play, and then so that just spawned the other menu. What I've done is I've axed the removing of the thing. So I need to say a class menu. Did I capitalize it when I said clean up menu? Is that what's wrong? Clean up old, I did, I capitalized it. Yep, menu. I think, yeah. So that's exactly what we said. I kill menu, not menu. Or play, whatever. Yeah. You spot on. You pay much more attention than I am to my code. Well, that's what I was worried about. Because the menu changed, it killed it. So we need to make sure that what am I doing? So I need to somehow make sure that this doesn't run like the first time. It doesn't make any sense, actually. Because the cleanup old should, but the command shouldn't run until after. Because we set up belly doesn't actually spawn anything, and then set up main menu. So we need to make sure that set up main menu needs to run. It must run commands between this and this executing. Okay. So what we could do is move this into first instead of update. So let's try that. Systems. First. Because moving it to first, all moving it to first really does is reduce the odds that it'll run after I've spawned the actual menu in, because I don't know where in the hierarchy these get run, and they obviously run a commands flush between running all of the updates before update runs, which means that update can now despawn it, whereas it could just also be that when you run the no, because it doesn't run the command until the end. Okay, anyway, that fixes it. So we only clean up the menu at the beginning of the next frame, not which in theory means there's a 1 frame lag between the frame spawning and the frame disappearing, because you clicking the button and it disappearing, because you click it 1 frame, the next frame it says, hey, remove this, and then it gets removed. So anyway. Go. Oh, okay. Anyway. Escape restarts. I didn't remember I'm linking that. Anyway. So let's add the rest of the menus. So that means that the main menu here is good. We're gonna go, okay. So you change the state. So this is the level select. Clear, handle, debug, buffer, button. Okay. So you have play and blank text. Input error. So you make a button style. Okay, interesting. So this is my error debug writing thing. So level string clear. So this is setting up the level. We say level loaded level equals handle default. Okay, commands to spawn. We spawn the button. Okay. So the beauty of this is we can actually go like div menu. So if we just copy this bit, we go here. We go command start, and then if we say commands add this, and then we go close the div, and then we go close that, done. Okay, so that should spawn a new menu object in, which means that we don't need to reconfigure it, because that's what this is this style is the default menu style, except apparently this one's wider. So we spawn that, and then we say with children, so we need the top, which is style padded. Okay, so we make a button, blank button, and this is our input button. So I'm curious, can I say, oh, we need to probably go back to editor? No, you can get closed. We need to go back into the Belly preload and go, hello, yes, widgets. I would like to go the widgets preload, the input widgets preload, and go, do you have a text? You do have a text. Text input plugin. I like. What's great about this is I have all this like shit so that I can get access to it and whatnot. So again, we're going to come down here and we're going to comment this all out, because basically I've got like this string resource that I reuse. So this is a text input. So text input. I don't know how this works. Is it text input? And then close it, because closing it. You're going to say can't find macro. Is it text input? No. Is it well, this is one of those. Why am I just testing random names? Go to your input prelude, which is that one, and then we go to the text input prelude, which is that one, and then we say yes, text input. Where is the var string text input? What's the widget called though? What's the widget called? Oh, it's like this. Text input text. No, input text is apparently wrong. We need to go up here and go hello widget text input. Okay. Why do you have a thing? So alias text input. The input text input. That would make more sense. Okay, so now we have a text input. Okay, and we're going to just quickly run that and be like, what happens when I click the setup level select? Okay, so when we go name, nothing happened. Is it here? No, these are collectibles. No. So we still should have got a menu. What? Setup level select happens when we click on base64 and input and base64 both use the level select. So it doesn't matter which one we click on. Why is the menu disappearing entirely? Are we back to that same issue of like when these run? Probably. What this... Oh no, because we on enter, which means I can't change the ordering of these. Is it spawning at all is the question. Okay, so we're going to say like... we're going to print line. Because it could just be something else as well. Print line spawned menu. Okay. The other way is to add a class to the menus and say that, like, you have to not be... So yeah, it's spawning the menu, so it must be like despawning it immediately. So how do we get you to not do that? I mean, one way to do that is to go, when we clean up old, we can take in a state, mute state, not mute, res, state, game state, right? So we can do that, and then we can say that you are a reference to a format so you'd be like menu dot state dot zero dot get, and you're going to say it doesn't implement display, so we can do that. Okay, so that should remove only the current state, which means I need cleanup to run before so menu setup. So we want the on exit. So you could, well, it could also be this. We should probably say don't do any cleaning up. Where's my other on exits? So like you. So before I go messing with that, let's make sure that let's copy this down just so I don't have to redo it, and we'll get rid of this bit. We'll just go. For now, it's just going to do the menu. It could also be that the cleanup code's catching and removing the old stuff. It shouldn't, because it's not directly interfacing with Belly, but who knows. Okay, so it still didn't work. So we got a menu, we go, okay, yeah, it didn't work. So we only want to remove that one. The other thing that we could do is maybe clean up old. Okay, so you, in state, okay. So what am I doing? Clean up the state. So that would mean that each thing needs to be flagged. One way to do that would be to say clean up old. Maybe remove this. Again, I'm just going to copy this and say clean up old does nothing for now, because I don't want to have to change things. And this is this clean up menu, like so. And this one's just going to do menu. And this one I'm going to say doesn't take in any of this. It just takes, we want this section just because. And this is going to take in world new world, like so. Why are you wrong? Because you're missing that. Okay, then we're going to say world dot resource elements. We need mute, don't we? Mute. No, it's resource mute, not mute resource. Mute. Okay. Elements. Okay. Why are you saying that you can't do this? Because it's defined multiple times. Okay. No. Clean up. Self. I don't know. Elements. What do you mean elements doesn't implement resource? Oh, because it's not a resource, it's a world query. Right, it's not a world query, surely I can say like world dot get. No. Query? No, it's a from world or something, doesn't it? What do you need to implement? Like, what is this? What is this implementing? System parameter. Okay. Could we dot run? Not a run schedule. I just want to run a system. Get. Nope. So there goes that idea. Surely, no, because you literally just keep track of all this stuff, so that doesn't work. It's interesting. Well, okay. So that takes us back to here. Okay, so clean up old. We select all menus with the specific state, like so. Get. So that will only clean up ones in the current state. Wait a second. No, because because we can't get this. I was thinking maybe I could pass it as a command. Wouldn't work. How does your select work? You select in a query into vector results is empty. Select. So yeah, you just do fancy stuff that I don't understand. Menu to remote. How do I do this? Because I obviously want it to run. When does the... I don't even know when Belly runs its setup stuff. That could be half the problem, is that it's not that I'm doing something wrong, but because the command to change state is executed by clean up old if state changed. See, because obviously it's spawning new stuff. I need it to be in the same system that Belly does its run, which I don't think I can do because I don't know what system that is. State changed. Clean up old. So we pass that in. We go. We could also run this like. When does Bevy update its state? State. What system do you run this in? We say like add underscore state. No. On transition. Wait. That only runs whenever state exits from state and state enters to state. I didn't know this was here. Huh. Systems added to this schedule are always run after on exit and before on enter. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Okay, I didn't know that was a thing. Next state. We could clean up old. Wait a second. Maybe we could just on. How do I do it? Changed. No, not state changed. Resource changed. Next state. Hello, Bob. next state, game state. So if I say resource change, next state, game state, means that, and we don't want to run it first, we want to run it last. Right. What this should do, if I've got this right in my head, is that when the belly system runs, we go, it will set to change the state. And if it's said to change the state, we want to delete the menu, regardless of what state we're going to, and then re-enter the menu. The only time this is an issue is somehow if you loop back to the same state you're in, because Bevy will change the state, but it won't re-enter the state, so you won't respawn your menu. Because they removed that functionality, which is annoying, because like literally even in my video when I'm like, hey, this has situations where you want it, like this, where if I exit the menu, clean up the menu, if I re-enter the menu, spawn the menu back, Bevy won't do that now because it won't exit the menu if I'm entering the menu itself. So it'll clean it up, but it won't. Okay. Anyway, so that should mean, because I'm checking for the next state changing, which won't happen, I know, it can't be last. Can it be post-update? Well, if belly runs in updates, and then last should work, because it should, pre-update is definitely when the state transitions happen, which means that the state transition will be set to happen before it happens, so we can look at what the old state was. I hope. Let's test it. Man, it's all about remembering ordering in your brain, and it's just so confusing. Hey, right. Well, that means nothing really, because it didn't clean up the old one, which means that we don't actually know if it's happening in the right ordering for the states. So what that means, well, actually, I guess that means I can probably get rid of this entirely. Okay, let's leave it here, because again, I don't want to just retype that shit unnecessarily. We may be able to get rid of it entirely, because again, we know the change is coming, which means that we can do the transition, and then we will actually enter the stage, which means we do the transition. So I don't think I need to be picky anymore. Because all that was is that it worked. Like, you know, well, it just didn't clean up the menu. See, it still cleans up the menu. Which means that we need to not run on enter menu. Run if. Oh, wait. But next. That doesn't make sense because next state wasn't set. Okay. Instead, we're going to say if state will change. Okay. So state will change. And then we say that you take in a t, which is a state. So you need a state res, yep, okay, but next state. Okay, and then you return a boolean. You return a boolean, and then you say state dot is dot 0 dot is sum. So I'm going to change this to state exist, state changed, state buttons. That's a different thing entirely. State changes and equals. State exists and equals. Okay, state will change, and then we just give you game state. Okay, I wonder if this will work. Don't know why that didn't work. Why are you complaining? The function takes one argument. What? Yeah, but how do I set up a run condition then? Okay, we need to change this back to, let's go back to resource changed. Resource added, this will help. So impulse, res, option T, res, okay. What do you mean? Run if, oh, because I just do this. And then we say, state will change. Okay, because we need to give it a pointer to a read-only function. The reason the Rust ones do the way they do is because they let you specify something and then they create a function pointer from that specification. Anyway, so state will change. We'll check to see if there's a future change set, which means that, because what it's doing is it's detecting that the resource has been added because it added at the beginning of the application, which means that it's always going to have been added. Okay, we've reached a menu. Then we go here, and it spawned this one, but it didn't despawn this one, which means that, oh, but that one did? Why did that one work? That makes like literally 0 sense. Name. Okay, I'm even more confused because will state will change. Where's our clean up old? State, what? Why did that one work? You've got the same, like you're exactly the same. So why was it when I was adding more of those menus? It's got to be in the setup menu. What is the difference? We set play, we set this, we set, okay. So each of those gets it and resets it, yeah. So but there's no difference between the play button, unless it's something up here like on enter play. Wait, it wasn't even play, it was name. Well, that one just crashed, so. Why resource required spawn new object does not exist. Okay. Well, that's hilarious. So don't click the level editor one because that just crashes. So you spawn that, but name cleans up, which means that this. What's the difference between you and you? You both call setup start level. Level name, level input buttons, run if in state. Yeah, okay. Maybe we should get rid of this code, because this code will go away eventually. So we're going to comment out basically everything. So run state if in state menu, update, state buttons. Okay, so this can also go because the state buttons can probably go entirely because we. So we wait. Setup belly is supposed to be on startup. Don't worry about setting up belly. We were just wasting compute, constantly loading a object that we already had loaded. All right. So last, clean up old, run if, state will change. We could also probably put you at first even. Okay, as long as it happens before pre-update. Well, like before, yeah, pre-update, because that's when it checks. So it has to happen before the state transition happens. So clicking play did nothing, which is interesting. Clicking this spawns the new menu. Clicking name spawns a new menu. Okay. So at no point do any of those clean up the code, which means that first is not where you want to be. Last. Not really teaching good practices for debugging here. I should really like open the menu thing and do all the fancy stuff and go through, show people how you debug this kind of code. Instead, I'm just pressing buttons and hoping it works. So you spawn a new one. You spawn a new one. You do nothing. Cleaning up's not working. Why is cleaning up never called? Fuck off Microsoft Edge. Well, why is this only the update one? I want the pre-update one. Load map, auto ghosts. Weird. So I think this is because, again, the Bevy editor hasn't really been ported correctly to the new Bevy version, which means that because all the schedulers got merged into the update and then ripped out of the update, it's only going to show you the update scheduler because that was the original one. Why are you not working? I would love some more backseat coding if anyone's got what is going on? So, with it happening in last, did it work? That was the thing to check, wasn't it? You do nothing, you do... And that's with it in last. So, and don't click level. So, why is it not cleaning up the menu? The menu is being spawned with the correct element, .menu, and clean up old is run. It just never checks the state. Okay. Alright, because you're just obviously state will change. So it's obviously state will change is obviously never returning true. Like ready? Because if I go like if, well, I guess no, it's this. We'll in here. We want to say print line clean up. Right. So calling cleanup. So this will tell me if it's running, because if it's running, it just means that the belly's not detecting it. But if it's not running, it means that my some code isn't working. Okay. So you definitely set next state, but we're never calling cleanup. Right. So why are we never calling cleanup? So state will change. State. Oh. Well, first off, there should be T. That's hilarious. It was taking in T. This shouldn't make literally any difference, but it'd be really funny if that's what it was. Because that's the state I wanted to query anyway. So, no, so it didn't make any difference. So we're going to go here. We're going to go print line test state will change. Okay, and then we're going to say print line state.0.isSum. So if this ever says true, then because it should print every line test because it needs to check every frame because it needs to check every frame. Yep, returning false, returning false, returning false, returning false. Does it ever return true? Okay, no. So we can instead be something like if, just so that it's easier to know that it's never returning true. If is state is sum print. Do that. Alright, so if it's sum, we return true. Why would it never be sum? Well, we literally set it, don't we? We say res next state t. And apparently it's just never sum. See, it's never printing, which means that it's never sum. Okay, but if we add like a... So it's in the last use. It'd be really funny if I put it in startup. So clean up. So it's running every frame, and it's in last. So if I say if set changed, we need to say mute state res mute next state game state. Okay, and then we say. We need input as well. Input. Res input key code. If input dot just pressed escape, key code escape, state dot set game state menu. Alright, so when I press escape, and then we want to go here, and we're going to go, hey, I'm going to add this system as something you do, and we're going to say set changed, and then dot before, no, dot before clean up old. Am I spelling that wrong, or is that just not how that works? Wait, state changed. No, not state changed. Set changed. Set changed before cleanup old, which means that the state will be changed 100% of the time before that system runs. When I press escape, no matter what, which means that if it still returns false, something's broken. Okay, well, something's still broken, but I saw it print out like 0. Okay, cleanup. So, it is detecting the state changing, but somehow, whenever Belly calls its logic, it's calling the run before. So we've got to find the right system to run this in. So maybe pre-update. Is it in pre-update? So we need to go run if state will change. No. We need to go back to state. I need to go like when I add a state, apply state transition. Okay, if a new schedule is queued in its next state, so I need to basically run it just before apply state transition. Run if state change dot before apply state transition. Game state. Surely that's in pre-update. I'm sure it said that this runs. Like you can add it more than once. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe Belly literally puts it like an additional state transition or something. Can't imagine it would, but something might be adding additional state transition. Okay, so it never ran, which means that the state transition doesn't happen in pre-update. Surely it does. I need to track this down. So we need to find wherever the fuck it says. State, variance, state, enter, on exit, transition. Yeah. So what I need to do is find the, like, where's add state? That would probably be the easiest way to track this down. It would be like dot add underscore state. That's going to tell me exactly when. Add system. Oh, it's in its own schedule. All right, well. Pre-update. No, not pre-update. State transition. This is going to be some mad logic, you know. Okay, so I've just said it needs to happen before the specific state that I'm trying to change. Okay. It'd be great if this works. I have a suspicion it won't. Fuck, it worked. Okay. Well, don't trust my gut. It's crazy. Okay, it worked. Well, we don't need set changed anymore. Did you something? Yeah, can't do that. So you something called cleanup, but oh yeah, test state transition. Magic. Yeah, it's almost like if you put it in the right state, it works. It really is magic. The only thing I don't like about that is when does state transition run? Like when you add this, pre-update runs. So that's what I don't get. Being in burst or pre-update should have beaten state transition. Fixed update loop, update last. Yeah, so it should have won. Like I don't get why I need to specifically say you're in this thing and you run before this happens. Anyway, that should mean that all the menus can be cleaned up without me needing to add excess code ever again to clean up menus. Well, game state menus. Other menus will still need cleaning up, but in theory, you would say like this when it crashed. Don't mind that. It's because I've done something somewhere. But when I click play, so all the menus tie to themselves up. The main issue at the moment is that I'm spawning a menu and then nothing inside it, like this little editor menu. Set up level menu. Okay, level select. Set up level select. So this will have a div that will say, wait, this isn't the editor. We don't care about this. This is not what we want. Set up main menu. We don't need the font anymore, so you can stop giving me warnings, please. We don't need the state anymore because we've decided that we can just clean up. Make buttons. We can probably clean that up because apparently that's never used. So we set up the start menu, and then we're going to go here and we're going to go set up the text menu. Okay, so we need to go like text input. So we need to go like dot menu text input, like so, and then we're going to say width is 90%. Okay. So we cleaned some things up, and I have 9 concurrent viewers. So that's probably the most concurrent viewers I've ever had in a single stream for longer than like a second. So we'll see how long that lasts. It's down to 8. I went up to 12 one time for 1 minute. Why is it crashing? Why are you crashing? Like, attempting to create an entity component from entity which does not exist. But what's crashing? So that's feels like that's me porting something wrong. If I comment this out. Yeah. None of this other stuff even runs. At least I don't think any of this other stuff runs. So we set up menu, and level string none. Okay. So, that's interesting. So, something's wrong, and almost certainly it's part of my porting, because it's saying that it's trying to add something to an entity that doesn't exist. And the only thing I can think to that is that it's trying to apply like a state transform. But it wasn't crashing before, so is it this? Can't have empty rules. This makes no sense. Wait. Okay, this really does make no sense. Is it crashing because I'm clicking it, or is it crashing because I'm giving it time? It's just 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi. Okay, so it didn't crash because of time. Like, that's definitely not crashing because of time. And it's still, if I hover crashes. Why does hover crash? You must have an on hover. What's called? Okay, so enter system commands entity. Okay, entity in set state. Hover system. What's going wrong? Set state entity hover false. Huh. Okay, so it's probably not. Oh, well, it's exactly that, apparently. Okay, so then in there it's set state. If value equals old, return. I feel like that 9 number was wrong, because why would it be there? Like, you returning, so that invalidate self.commands to entity tree insert invalidate entity default. Okay, so this is invalidating it. Okay, and then public no. Okay, entity. Okay, so match. So self.get entity sum entity else panic no entity. Right. Panic no entity. I don't want you to do shit on hover though. So obviously I've broken something when I ported this thing. How do I disable hovering though? That feels like something that's a bit crucial to Okay, so widget preload commands import U. Okay, so let's go here, go here, and go. What the hell have I changed in? What was it? It was not rigid body. What are we in? Create belly widgets. So belly, not core. Widgets. Apparently I didn't touch shit. Okay. Did I change something later? Okay. How do I view the entire thing? Like I want to say show all changes in all fast. Widgets. Did I ever touch widgets? So core widgets, skr, input mod, input button, input text. What did I do wrong? I changed all the in-base set pre-updates to update. Well, you know, it's probably not going to do anything to the widget, because that means they're literally doing exactly the same thing. We changed hidden to clip. We changed key bindings. Left Windows, left right, left shift, left right. Yep, okay. Position left equals cursor position. It could be this. I don't know what this was doing. It was just style. Okay, it was definitely not this, because this is just style.left and style position. But it could be this. I don't know. No, because again, it's doing exactly the same, like how Bevy changed these. Weird. Widget scroll lib. Image. Weird. Okay. So it's not that, it's when I hover. So if I, well, for one thing, if I re-enable you and say like your width's 90% and your min height is 10 pixels, maybe it's a like void, like zero width kind of thing. Like when you try to hover over it because it's got zero width, it tries to calculate what entity it should be that you're getting and it gets nothing. Nope. How do I disable your hover behavior? This seems like a convoluted trail of shit. Event loop, run up. So we're going to go all the way up to the top. We're going to go try run schedule, do call, okay. Function element applied, okay. Go right to the top. And we go, one of these was called like hover something or other. Set state, hover system. Okay, hover system here. When is hover system called and what calls hover system? You call hover system. How? Set. Label hover. Set label hover after label signals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fucking goodbye. And then we're going to go. What is this in? So this is specifically in the input plugin. Weird. Element input plugin. It's in belly core. Okay. That's interesting. Because the buttons aren't broken. So it's obviously not. That's very bizarre. So we're just going to pretend that that's not happening. We're going to go like, is this a terminal that I can use? No, this is not a terminal I can use. Okay, new terminal, cargo, clean, p, we need belly underscore core. Yes, hello, please, don't publish, that would be really weird. Run. Okay, where is that? Okay, right, we need to just comment this entire section out because, you know, it's all responsible for that. Okay, and then we're going to go, you save this. Why has this still got a red underline? Probably because I haven't run any code yet. Run. So we're just turning off the hover function because it's causing the input to crash. That's something I would have to test on like pre my update to see if it's my update that broke something, because there's a good chance that nobody was using the functionality and therefore it was not known, or it's like a value of 0, so like the width of it being 0 means that it crashes when you hover because it doesn't spawn the entity or something. Or it could be that the input label is supposed to have children, and so when you hover it's supposed to do something specific with that child, and it, because I haven't given it any children. Where is it? I literally just spawn it here and then close it immediately. So like it could be that it needs a children. Where is it anyway? It's one of these. So we can go no. Maybe I should just close all of these. Okay, well it doesn't crash until I click on it. So it's obviously not spawning its children correctly. Because now it's on click, isn't it? Guarantee you. Yep, you're saying that attempted to create an entity command for entity 12 which does not exist. Okay. That's interesting. So again, this doesn't necessarily mean it was my port because I didn't touch anything. I literally just copied it across, which means something's not spawning what it's supposed to. It's a lot. Why does it think it's 12? Because that's the issue, is that it's trying to spawn it for 12, which obviously is the previous menu, when it should be spawning it for like 100 and something. That's interesting. Because does that imply that if I went back to the main menu, it would also be broken? That is indeed interesting. So we need to go track down the widget code and work out when it spawns, what's it doing wrong, because it's text input. Where is the text widget? Widget, text, string value, text style. Okay, context.add from this text value to text value. Okay. So what do you do? So you say concept this.id. So you get the ID of this particular thing, and then you say cursor is ti.cursor, text input. Okay. Apparently the cursor is its own entity. Where's the text input itself? Like, okay, so we have a string, an index, a text cursor, selector cursor. Okay. So we say your text is equal to this, your text is equal to this, and your selection. Okay, and then we add a connection between this as value and the text value. Okay. And then when we render you, we render span in block text input border, span text input background, span. Okay, well, first off, that's something I can tweak in here, is its text input, like so. Where were we? Text. So then we say span and then container span, and then we display is managed, and then we say span, cursor span, position type absolute, width pixels, cursor width. So this is the cursor, this is the text, this is the selector. Okay. That's interesting. So text input here. So this is the widget, but how does the text get, is a text input set, focus mouse keyboard, from world and params. World.spawn empty, spawn empty, spawn empty, spawn empty. That's interesting. Because you're getting a world and you're spawning empties for all of this information. So somehow you're spawning an empty that doesn't exist. How am I despawning part of your... This is making no sense. Process mouse, process focus. So none of this can be causing the crash. The entirety of it comes from the fact that when you world spawn here, I want to capture all this. So can I debug you? Do you implement debug? I don't know. Let me just go here and go let text equal print line. Print line is it that to pre-print it and then text. Okay, and then we want to return text from world and param. Try get value unwrap or default, index is 0, selectable is default. Okay. What is this? This is under belly widgets, which hopefully will recompile when I recompile them. Okay, so we're going to Control C and we're going to go clean belly core, and then we're going to run this. So belly core is getting redone. They should also redo belly widgets. Hopefully. This is like a really bizarre bug. What's worse is I'm doing it in my like local Git download, which means that, or not even my local Git download, my local cargo download, which means that certain things are like that when I fix this, it's still going to be broken, and I have to fix it again for the official crate that I'll put a pull request in for. No, I forgot a semicolon apparently and forgot to implement debug. Expected a semicolon? Ah, here, yep. Semicolon, and then you're saying that this doesn't implement derive debug. Okay, a text input field when the user can enter data. Okay, so when we go back to main, and we say run, belly core, belly widgets, belly is compiling. Such a fucking weird ass bug. It crashed. Because they turned hover off, that's why it didn't crash on the hover. Anyway, would you look at that? Entities are correct. Why did you try to do this? Attempted to create an entity with entity ID 12. That's incorrect. Why are you doing 12? Because literally all of your entities are the correct entity. So where the fuck are you getting 12 from? Where are you getting 12 from? Don't understand. Focus system. Set state. Okay. So set state. So the entity invalid takes entity tree. Okay. So, and you literally just call commands. So it's actually you that's crashing. Panic no entity. Wait, where's the panic no entity? What calls panic no entity? You call panic no entity. Okay, yeah, entity. Self dot get entity. Get entity? Okay. So an entity. So you call commands. That's a Bevy commands entity. Why? Okay. Invalid entity. Invalid element. Okay. So, but when we call set state, what's calling you? So set state's calling you. Focus system. So where does this entity come from? Well, obviously we pass this entity in. So we have to go back up one more, which is the focus state. So where do you focus system? Focused. Elements. Okay. Where does the entity come from? Query interaction with element. Update required or request focus entity in requests does not equal and target focus. Where's target focus? So target focus equals none. Let update transform request equals false. For signal in signals down. S down. Okay. Request for entity. So it's always entity 12. So maybe that's what it is. It's like it's not that I'm the who the fuck is entity 12? 21, so that means it's in here. 12. 12 is the button that we clicked. That's interesting. So if 12 is the button we clicked, if we click here, and then we hover or click or whatever, is it going to be 13? Or whatever the corresponding number was? 17. Oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Let's go back, do it again. That's very interesting. Because that means node 17 is the next button. So this somehow is staying selected. That's what's problem. Okay. I think that might be just an issue with the greater belly structure or something, is that it's not registering that I've removed so set state, what's it trying to set? What was the, oh, we'll crash it again so that we can get to the get back to where we were in the debugging. Input focus. Okay, so the focus system. So what it's saying is that it's iterating through all the things that we've clicked and set state. So which specific set state is the one focused? So if let sum was focused equals focus.0. So where's focused coming from? Okay. Okay. There's our bug. Focused. There, we found it. Okay. Is this internal? Is this private? Can I not touch this? I'm guessing I can't. Nope, it's public. But it might not be public. It might just be... Okay. So, for now, I'm just going to patch this fucker. Because I don't feel like patching all of Belly, like, just for this stream. So, what is it? It's cleanup. Cleanup old. We need to also get focus. And then we're going to say res mute focused. Okay, and then we're going to say focus dot 0. No, I can't get into it. How do I set you? Focused. That's it. I can't even get in. Which means that... Well, first off, why make this public if I can't actually access the value inside? Let's just make this pub for now. Don't mind the dodgy ass code. 0.set. Oh wait, what? We can set it with reflect. That's not going to work. Or maybe it will. Surely that's got a type annotation issue. I hope you guys have all enjoyed my debugging hour. Oh my god, this is just going to shit. Oh wait, it knows what type it is because it's entity. Yeah, okay, cool. So that should be able to be like do this, please. And then when I go run, now it won't unfocus, and then we have to turn the belly core like on click or on focus or whatever it was called back on. Wherever that was. That was under core prelude. Well, if this fixes the problem, we'll have to turn it off so we can find the hover code again. The other option is to go open folder, Rust stuff, projects. Oh no. Oh no. Why is it being so slow? Belly, select folder. And then we are going to search for on focus. Don't replace it with anything. Focused? Huh. It's tagged focus. Insert. No. Focused. No. What was the system called? Bobstruct? No. Insert. That'll be. When we init a resource, it's almost. No, it's not. Focus system. We come up here and we go. Where is my. Because I haven't turned it off, which means that we want to find focus system, which is in core skr input. We didn't change it in here, so it's core skr input. There's our focus system. So we're going to come up here and go, hello, turn the focus system or the hover system back on because. Anyway, so you're going to say that you can't set none because no value. Equals none. I made it public, so cannot mutate you. That took longer than I would have liked. Okay. So then we go back to here, and we go back to here, and we go run. This should, in theory, recompile a few things. I don't think it recompiled. Oh, okay. It works. I don't know why it works, but it works. Yay. Hey, I can't click off it. I can't. Okay. It works. That was such a fucking pain in the ass. Okay, but it works. It works in the dodgiest goddamn way possible, but it works. Okay, so okay. Okay, so load base. All right. So when we say load level base 64, how do I extract the value? All right, assets level. Levels string. Okay, so you don't need access to this. I think we want to say. I think we'll actually call that good for now. If I go here and we can say like we have our text input, we need to go back into the belly code and go hello belly. What exactly can I do with my widget prelude, input prelude, text prelude, text? Like what parameters can I pass to this thing or get? Like can I, do you have events on you like no. Param value string, so I can give it a default value. Style, text style. That's it. There's no process mouse, process cursor, process keyboard input, get char advance. Interesting. I'm gonna go get a drink of water and I will be right back. I'm gonna give you some ads, so have fun with that. Okay, I have returned. Ignore all background noise that you may be able to hear. Got people getting ready to go to work, so hopefully it won't be too noisy for too long. What was I doing? Well, I should probably remove all this debugging code, but that'll be fine. 15 as it doesn't exist. I do find it weird that Bevy will crash. Like here, it's just giving a warning because obviously the person's trying, not just telling it. But it crashes if you try to remove an entity that's already been despawned, and it's like, well, that just makes it annoying. Like it's that single responsibility kind of thing. Like one thing should be at despawning entities, but I don't like that it crashes if more than one thing tries. Anyway, what were we doing? Menu. So we need to go. This needs a button. Button, which is going to have a value equal to play with a label, the value equal to play, close that, button, close. Okay, well, it's close button, not button close. Then we want you to have an on press. On press equals run. Okay, we need to just copy the code from up here. The play button. And start add move world. Okay, it's run through to here. And then when we come down here, we go run. Okay. Yeah, well, Rust. The rule with Rust is if you write it properly, it will never crash. But when you're writing test code, you don't write it properly because it takes hours to write proper Rust code. You've got to like unwrap everything, have every fail state, have some kind of resolve. Whereas if you just call expect or not expect, you use expect when you're like there is no way this will not have a value. You know, like when you're using someone else's code and you're like, I know that I will always have this value set. So you call unwrap in all your testing code, but that means that when you go to release, any of those unwraps are a potential point where Rust will crash. But if you do it properly, like actually match the possible outcomes and set a reasonable default or use unwrap, or it won't crash. It's just that the code expects the entity to exist, so it crashes when the entity doesn't exist. Like it's an intentional crash. It's like, I don't know what's gone wrong. Man, you gotta love. Yeah, from what I've been told, because I've never actually managed to get a C project beyond like hello world, but apparently its error messages are horrible. Like they literally just like print out lots of garbage, and you know, unless you know exactly where to look. Yeah, it doesn't have header files because it's like it prints out a issue, and it's like unless you know exactly where you think in the code that issue actually might be pointing to, it could be a completely unrelated file that's actually got the crash in it. Okay, so we add the play button. Let's see what this looks like. Hey, play button. Okay. So, am I not setting the text field? Is it this then? Okay. Let me see margin. Margin left. is auto. Margin right is auto. What's the button looking like? The button is looking at a minimum height of 25 pixels. So we want your height to be, I guess 90%. I guess max height. Max height of 90%. And then we could say that they have a minimum height of 10%. Yeah, we'll leave it for now. And then we say your height is auto. That should make it fill up like the space. No, okay. Height, like 1000 pixels. I wonder which takes precedent. Apparently specified height. That's depressing. I was hoping that the max height would take precedence and therefore stop it from being stupid. Like 100 pixels maybe. Because this is proportional to your with the screen, so we want to be like height is 50% of the parent maybe, just to say like you take up that big chunk. The text size is okay. I've just realized that's the cursor. That's actually doing that. That's awesome. The cursor takes up the entire width, but the text is still tiny. Can we say like wrap? There's things like that, but I don't know which one of them they actually implement. Anyway, I've made this really big text field that like when you type it, it types tiny text. I don't know how to make it wrap around. Also, I don't know why it's despawning something constantly. It must be the cursor. As it moves it, it's like spawning and despawning it. It's weird. Okay. And then, just for completeness sake, what I'm going to do is say transition. Wait, let's go back to that state. I've seen this fancy thing and I'm like, I want to try it, but I don't know if it'll work. State. No, it's transition. Where was it? It was like on transition. A label of a schedule that only runs whenever I exit from and enters to state. Systems added to this schedule always run after on exit and before on enter. Okay, so my only issue with this is when are all these state transitions added? Try run schedule on exit. Try run schedule exit entrance. Oh, okay, that's cool. So it's a not a computational or like a memory overhead of it having to keep every possible transition between every state, because it just tries what state it's entering and what state it's exiting. It doesn't have like every single possible combination has its own scheduler. But that may mean I need to add the scheduler. Like I feel like we're gonna say like dot, you go away for now. We're gonna say like add system, and it's going to be on a transition. No, it's a transform. On transition from game state input base. Yep, base 64 to game state play, and then it's gonna say what was this thing called? It's called like load base 64 level. Now I have no idea how I extract the information. So I'm suspecting that this is going to not work because add schedule, but maybe it will. Add schedule, let's schedule world res schedulers, let's get mute add schedule. That's it. Oh, no, so it'll add the new scheduler if it doesn't exist already. Okay, cool. So that means that on transition means that this only exists when you specifically do it. Then we say load. Okay, so I think this can go now because it still has these weird issues. So when you click play, we load base. So we don't have this, we're going to have elements, which is elements. All right, so we have our elements. And then we have loaded, which is all the loaded levels. And then we query inspectable game state with button changed. Okay, don't think we want this one. Text, yeah, I don't think we need text. Error, you know, we're not going to print the error, and then state mute next state game state. Okay. So our load base 64 is just going to go for inspectable game state inspectable. Yep. Okay, that can all go. Match inspectable pressed. So we only care about the on pressed, which means we can go level from. Okay. So you get the on pressed. So we're going to say let level equal level from base 64. Oh, I guess we match that. Okay, so undo. That's correct. So then we say okay, and then we say error, and we're going to go, where's that pink one end? Doesn't apparently. Add a semicolon. That gives us a level? No. Okay, so loaded level equals loaded level levels dot add. Okay. Loaded level. Why am I doing it like that? That seems weird. Loaded level dot 0 equals level dot add, and then set state to play we don't need to do because that's happening after this runs. Else okay, else else error oh, I guess it's E, and then you return, so we don't need to do this. We say level dot 0. Okay, so we need to say let data equal elements dot query dot select. We're going to go dot menu space text input. Menu dot text input dot dot entities dot first dot expect text input on menu. Not on in menu. Okay, so what we're doing is we're extracting the first entity in the list of the menu's text inputs. Then we're going to go, we need a query which is going to be our text input, like so, and then we say let text input equal query dot get text input get data, which needs to be dereferenced data dot expect text input. So this is what I mean. Like, these are all potential points for crashes because, you know, I'm expecting. But I'm also like, if it's not a text input, it should crash because how the hell have you got here? So basically I've said query all .menu items with a text input type. And get me the first one. There should be at least one in the menu. Once you've got one, get the query for the text menu. If you can't do that, then what the hell is a text input, not a text? So that's a bug worth crashing over, because if somehow that ends up happening, it's a much deeper concern. And then we say text input from base 64, which takes in a string. Okay. And then we extract from a string. And then we go, why the hell you can't borrow you mutably? Oh, because, shut up. I need you to be mutable so that I can extract into temporary value dropped while borrowed. Okay, well, we'll just do that. Thank you. And then we say get, and we do that, and we go, hey, done. All right, so the load base 64 level should work now. Okay. I don't know what it's going to do, but it should work. Like, it should just print out an error message is what it should do. Error. Invalid padding. Okay. That's all it really should have done. It just printed an error message for why it can't decipher the string. And then input button. Okay. And we're going to say load level name. Load name level. We're going to go, I think this is all the stuff I need for that as well. Okay. And again, this one becomes much easier because we're going to go, I guess, do exactly the same thing that this one did, but instead of from base 64, we're going to go asset server. So instead of setting this and this and this and this, we're going to say asset server dot load, and then we can get rid of this as well. It's not level, it's reference to text input. Alright, so trait what? From? No, value. Okay. So where'd my glass of water go? So loading a level by name, we extract the name. We then load the level with the asset server. So that means we need to add a new state transition here. Oh, like so. And we're going to say from input level name to play, and this one's going to load name level. Is there a key that you can press other than tab to autocomplete like the line without putting all the parameters in? That'd be nice. Anyway, so input level name. Okay, so on enter of any of these, we want to set up the appropriate thing. Then on exit of any of those, we clean up the menu. Otherwise, we don't clean up the menu, and we don't need this anymore. We need a semicolon at the end. Okay. State button. Clean up menu. Load level, load base. Input error. Well, component input error can go away. Level string can also probably go away, because that's all taken care of by belly now. That's a set up a level select and then clean. So the only thing left is we still need our level editor. But level editor works the same way as play. If I remember correctly. we just need to say like, well, that's probably in the editor thing. So all of our menus, and we just click level editor, and when it changes, it'll clean up the menu, and then we can spawn the level editor in. So, I mean, that's a pretty good improvement, especially considering that like it's all been simplification as well. Like it's not like I've written a whole bunch of other code to make my menu look nicer. Like it's literally just less code, and it looks like this now. Oop, everything went away. Come back. What the hell? Why did it all disappear? Okay. Nope. Okay. Anyway, so this is the new menu, as you guys can see, because it's not on my screen, it's in the OBS. The top right here, that's what it used to look like. Now this is what it looks like. And, I mean, it's a pretty good improvement. We say, like, test. Oh, it doesn't tell the editor. And then that just prints an error in the console at the moment, because at the moment, when encoded text cannot have a 6-bit remainder. Okay. Yeah, so it just prints the error out at the moment. I want to do it at some point to print the error to the screen, but it's not come yet. Oh, bonk. See, it's the same as we write like stuff like that. Why is it writing bonk? It's funny, but bonk. Bonked. Okay. Yeah, you don't need to print this, please. Let bonk at equals and if that's okay, I think that entire thing can go. I'm literally just printing it so that I can see that it bonked. Add startup system. So it's add systems startup. We'll just quickly port that. Okay. What were we doing? I guess we go back to working on the level editor, because that was kind of the intention from the beginning. Like, when I was setting up this stream, I was like, yeah, I can do the level editor, because I stopped basically just because I was getting shitty at the level editor. That's why I never did another stream of this game. But now Belly will make this easy. So we want to say set up level editor state. So on exit level editor, clean up editor. Okay. So cleanup editor is going to just remove level editor. Okay. And setup level select. Level select? No. It should just be setup. No. Setup editor. Alright, so make editor button. Okay, interesting. Button. Interesting. Spawn object. If editor is changed. Level editor state. Current option. Interesting. Spawn object. Okay. I think we just need to rip the whole editor out, start again, because I have no idea. My cursor system? Check if the cursor is invalid. Checks if the cursor is inside the window and gets its position, then asks Bevy to convert this into window coordinates and truncate to decrease as discard Z. Okay, so maybe we'll just spawn the editor itself, which means we want to get through to things like editor and main editor and shadow and stuff like that. This stuff can stay because I don't actually know what it's going to do. Level editor state, I feel like our root entity maybe. So instead we're going to say like, we're going to say resource. Maybe it should be a component. Yeah, probably a component. Level root. Okay, so we have a component level root. We're just gonna comment all this out because I have no idea what this shit does. From there, we're gonna say like make button can probably go because again, a lot of this stuff is just unnecessary. My cursor system. Okay, we'll leave my cursor system. Run if in state level editor. Okay. Nope, now the dog's decided to bark. What are we doing? What are we doing? So when we set up the level editor, we want to say that we have a div called ID. Clean up level editor. It's level editor. Alright, so we spawn a div called level editor, and then we are going to why in VS Code is mostly just because I open up projects because I copy and paste code back and forth. Like, I'm currently working on a Bevy Repair video, so I've got that open so I can query stuff while I'm writing my video script. Then I've got my main project open. We opened Herbal Alchemy earlier in the video so I could get that, which I did overwrite something that I was originally working on, but I decided I didn't need. And then this was the same thing where I was looking for something inside the belly crate that I didn't want to have to expected punctuation type node name. I don't know, my ADHD brain makes me like constantly open and close, like constantly open tabs. Like if I go to my Chrome, this is all my Chrome tabs on my YouTube monitor. Like this is a desktop. If I go to my other desktop, which I'm not going to because I have no idea what I've got open, you can't even see the text. It's literally just these little icons because I've just got that many tabs open in two windows. Here's my other, this is the other desktop that I have open. It's the same thing. Like I've got millions of tabs. It's just, my brain doesn't focus enough to let me be tidy. So I just keep opening tabs and then I guess I don't have a memory for what tabs I had open. So my brain just won't let me close tabs. Like otherwise I go, oh fuck, what tabs did I need? So if I at all think I'll need the tab again in like some period of time, I just yeah, I don't know. I've looked at Firefox, I just don't like it. It's that whole like momentum of sticking with Chrome. I think Chrome's got an extension you can get that lets you put tabs in folders so that you can have even more tabs, like, and still have them readable. Like, you know, you have like a research tabs and then you have all your tabs in there that, but I don't know. It's I haven't got the mental discipline. Hopefully, because I should be getting ADHD medication soon, or like a new medication. Where was it going? Brain's gone to sleep. Hopefully that will help me focus enough to actually be able to be more motivated and more like disciplined when it comes to things like closing tabs, because last time I went on ADHD medication, it helped with like, you know, being able to cook dinner and shit like that. But then I had really bad side effects of like when I came off the medication, I would go super hyperactive, which means if I didn't go to bed before like 8, I wasn't going to bed that night because I would start to ping, which apparently is called rebound side effects, which is a lot of fun. Anyway, so we have our cursor, and we have our level editor, and we spawn 2 divs, and we have basically the level editor and the object. Just going to copy these. So we want this. So that's our level editor, and this object editor. So our level editor is going to be on a right side of 0 pixels, and our object editor is going to be on the bottom 0 pixels. The level editor is going to have a width of 25%, and the bottom editor is going to have a left of 0 pixels and a width of 75%. That should result in a background. We need to give them background colors, otherwise they're not visible. Background color, light gray. Why is there 2 light grays? Weird. And a background color of I guess light gray. What was light gray? Gray. That's weird. Why is light gray not considered to be IntelliSense part of gray? So we want to go like 50-50-50 maybe? 50-50-50. Like so. 50-50-50. Then we go main, we go run. You suck. Where's my level editor? So that should be 0, 0. Wherever, somewhere over here, 0, 0. 0. Okay. Up. Okay. We'll see if that's correct anyway. Why? What are you? Why are you invisible? You're not apparently anywhere. Style? You're all zeros. Why has that not worked? Editor. When I click the level editor, you clean up level editor, but that only runs when I exit. On exit game state level editor, set up level editor. Why is that not working? So cannot expected punctuated name. Never used this before. Maybe we'll just go with C. LEVL underscore E. We'll do the same thing and just be like C. Object editor. And then you're going to be the same of you're just going to be dot level underscore editor and editor. Dot object. Okay. Did it spawn it? Apparently not. I don't get it. Why are you not spawning these? We're definitely entering the correct state. I believe. I don't know. I'd have to print that out. Clean up old. Well, that doesn't matter because main menu. When we click you enter level editor. Wait, why is he saying this isn't defined? It is very much defined. Why have you stopped working? Weird. When you click, set level editor. Okay. And we come back here and we go run if in state my cursor system. Yeah, so we're obviously in the level editor because otherwise it wouldn't run that. On enter and on exit. Level editor. Editor. Am I not adding? No, because this is running. Weird. So we're definitely in that state. Is our startup not running? Spawn. Why? Just weird. It can spawn in the ground. That's funny. Level editor. Spawn. So it's definitely trying to spawn it. And it's spawning a node down here, which makes me think that it is actually spawning it. It's just being weird. Well, first off, if we come up here and be all like, you need to become .level underscore editor. And your .level, oh no, your .object underscore editor. Okay. Bottom, left, top, okay. So, first off, maybe let's go into our editor and say our cleanup editor, do not run. We could also give them both class editors, which would mean that it can clean up both of them with a single query without needing to do two distinct queries for the parent objects. It's kind of how you're supposed to use HTML classes anyway. All right, so they're spawning. Maybe they're just being despawned? Or spawning a big ass fucking rectangle. Maybe it's not supposed to be right. Maybe it's supposed to be left. No, there's no way it's supposed to be left. Dog's gonna start barking in the background. Why are you not working? Zero, 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 zero. That's so weird. It is affecting that, right? Like, What I'm finding even more bizarre is why is it only spawning one? Is it because it's like gotta wrap these like this if I want more than one? Like if I want body. No, other way, other side. Body. It could be that when it passes it, it's just deciding that it can't find the other side. But still, that doesn't make any sense. Level editor. And you're called level editor. Okay, it spawned it in. And it didn't change anything doing that. So if I said right, save that. Okay, well now it's spawned two with. So you have a slight grey color. Why is your style wrong though? What if I said your height is 100%? Okay, well there's one issue, and your height is going to be 25%. Okay, so you're at the right. Feel like your coordinate system's broken. This is most likely what this is. This is this position. Okay, top left, yeah. Interesting. If I run it again, having swapped top and left. Nope. Interesting. Your height and your to the right. Okay, so clearly belly's not actually ported properly because this should be over here. Okay. Do you still have? Comparison? Oh no, I don't. Yeah, good point. It took me a while to work out what that meant. Just delete that. Remove. All right, there we go. The old menu is gone now. Still don't get it. Maybe. Oh wait, no, I do get it. Position. Type. Absolute. Okay, position. Absolute. Dash type. No, you should be at bottom. Okay, that should probably fix it. Did I not save it? Why are you not at the bottom? Bottom left. Okay, so right. Is it spelt? Is this spelt wrong? Why? Top. Weird. They need to get given absolute. Otherwise, they were they used the flex box to determine where their 0 should be. Have I misspelt this? No. It's all spelt correctly, so I don't know why that one's still at the top. Style, flex, absolute, margin padding, row padding, border margin. So top. Oh, you know what it'll be is that right's auto, left 0, top is 0, auto. There we go. So belly will only override things that you've specifically told it to override, which means that when it overrided top and put 0 in it, it then overrides bottom and puts 0 in it, but it didn't set top back to auto, which means that if I'd restarted it, would have fixed it. All right, so now we have our editor menus like so. We should be able to add our grid layout, like, I don't know if it, like a flex layout to add our block types and stuff. So I guess what we would do is we would go, it's somewhere in the map, I believe. Map. Square. Okay. So it's probably not this, but this is doing some weird stuff. Okay. Spawn. So when you spawn, you need to give it map data commands and a map box. Okay. So UI. So this is going to get access to a root, which is going to be an entity. Okay, so the editor is going to be this, and this is going to be a commands. So you should be able to do basically anything that. And we're going to go use belly prelude. Okay. So we're going to say commands dot add, and we'll make this a mutable reference to commands. So commands dot add, and then you'll be able to do this, and we're just going to say, well, do nothing for now. Just don't do anything. You're going to be saying tile map and spawn object. No. Right, it's the trait that's wrong now. This needs a editor, which is an entity, and it needs a new command. All right. And then it's going to tell me that everything else is incorrect. All right, so collider, and then so we're just going to go fn draw. All right, so working with the square first. What it's going to do is we're going to go here, and we're going to go spawn. So it's spawn events, I'm pretty sure. Like, I'm pretty sure I handle block spawning with events. So what we'll do is we'll go like, no. There, that's all this does. And then we're going to go, you're actually going to spawn a button. Can I specify your parent equal to editor? And then we want to go like this. Okay, so that worked. Material animation. When I spawn this object, how do I determine what material texture to use? Texture atlas. Texture atlas material. Self.material to sprite. Texture atlas block as usize. So you need to. Where are you getting the material from? Self.material.toSprite. Terrain material.toSprite. Index. Okay. Terrain type block. Match self. Self as user plus terrain type. This code's not been touched in so long that I have no idea what I'm doing. Where's our square? So in your UI, right. Slash button. Okay. Levels terrain. So guess what we need to do is to be like paint. This is such a lazy way of doing this, but we're gonna go save as YouTube platform assets, new folder, icons, block.png. Okay. So now we have icons. We should probably rename that for the naming convention to icons. If I refresh that, is icons going to load? No? Okay. They must have fixed that at some point. It used to be that if you rename shit in Windows from lowercase to uppercase, it wouldn't change. Like it would change and then it would immediately change back. But they seem to have fixed that, so that's nice. what was it doing? So I was going back to square and going square source equals icons slash block dot png. So it's called your icons block dot png and then closing tag. Okay, so when we go back to our editor here, I'm going to say that the level. So we have our level editor. We're going to go. I guess we want to do this. Or I guess caps lock entity entity, and then we need to say like commands dot spawn empty, and this is going to be like let block equal dot id, and then we just say block. Okay. Wait, no. This would be editor. Sorry again for the lack of talking as I try and think about what I'm actually trying to do. And then we say something like block. It's a, where is it? So it's under crate map map box. What is it? Map box? Yeah, square map box. Okay. UI, draw UI. Okay. Okay. So can we modify draw UI? Probably not. I don't think I can say map object. We could say that map object needs a UI. Or an editor something or other. But anyway, we will just go to map box default. Okay. Material is default. I don't even know if all these things have defaults. Offset is default. Width is 0 and height is 0. Because we never call spawn on this. So draw UI just needs to not take a reference to self is what that really boils down to. Okay, so we need to give a mutable reference to commands and a editor. Copy of editor. Okay, so material doesn't implement default. So terrain material. Okay, so I guess we'll just specify a terrain material. Map terrain material brick. Okay, the editor trait shouldn't require a reference to self, I guess, like to spawn in editor, because it should be a generic block, and therefore, okay. So calling that and passing it that will mean that it should cause Belly to draw the icon into our editor window as a child, which means that if I give it the correct classes, it should then lay out properly. So we go like level editor, and we've got a block. Well, it almost worked. Why is this its own thing? Is parent not something I can set? Like, I'm sure Belly has some kind of widget magic that does that. Square. So maybe it's just this. So when I say like parent's not complaining, so that makes me go like, why is this not working? Because surely when we go like Belly preload, what are we doing? It's in a button. So widgets, input, button. Because what I suspect is if button, I just need to click this. If button doesn't specify parent, then it's a widget thing. Context, render, elm, span, content. Button group, that's a button group. Button, pressed mode value. Yeah, so context flat, render is flat, context button, interactable, content spawn, otherwise interactable position to absolute fets. So it's probably got something to do with this, so we might want flat buttons. But I can't imagine it would. No, because we're spawning the parent of the button. Context. Widget context. I feel like widget context because I can specify anything. Maybe we'll open up the belly page and have a look. We're going to go back here, code. Surely in one of their examples. So, span controls, parent. Okay, the matching the number or parent it will check before the okay, better batches. Alright. Thanks for your help earlier. You've probably saved me like a few hours of debugging because you basically knew exactly what was wrong. And it's great to have you in the stream. So hopefully you catch the next one as well. And yeah, have a good night, I guess. Let you. Button. One. Tune in. Okay. Okay, so we have a widget context. So nowhere in the widget context can we set the parent. So that's what's throwing me. And I don't want to give it children like that. Like that. Well, I want to pass this the editor, not. I guess we could say that it's self, and then we could say like, and then we can be like, dot with children, p, like this, and then do this and say like, p dot, I guess you say ID. So we pass entity editor to you, and then we say p dot spawn empty dot ID, and we say like let box equal cube equal that, and then we say you get cube like that, and then we go here and we say entity equals, and then this is self entity. Self entity. I wonder if that'll work. Well, outside of you being like an absolute little shit. Right, so it's in reference to P. Right, and then you need to go back to being a child builder. Wait, we don't even want a child builder. No, we want commands. Because the issue with the child builder is it's definitely going to be a... I mean, yeah. So it would be more like let mute children equals avec new, and then we say like children dot push and then we say children dot pop let next equal children dot pop dot expect child. So expect enough entities. Children for all types, I guess. I don't know. Objects? For all objects. And then we say you, and you pass next. And immutable reference to component. The commands. That might work. Maybe. And then we say this is never used. Why is this never used? Warning. Warning editor is never used. Well, it is, because it's used right there. Like, literally right there. So, that seems like an issue with the macro parser. Okay. An entity with the... Okay. But. Why are you empty? Okay. So, you being empty kind of makes sense, but why is there like just a random empty entity, and why is this one down here? This one has a UI image. This one... I don't even know where this one is. It's hidden somewhere. Margins like -1 in every direction, padding. Where's your size? This is a button. Width, not 100%. Pixels, 100. Pixels, 100. Okay, so we're gonna go when you spawn. Can you please give this a class of icon? And then we're gonna go up here and we're gonna say like when you spawn in a dot icon. It's gonna have a width of 100 pixels and a height of 100 pixels. And then run that. Oh. I think we're reaching the end of my brain's ability to cooperate. So it's saying that I'm spawning in an entity with a compute visibility has a parent without a compute visibility. How are you managing to pull that off? It can't be because they're spawning empty, like, surely. Because I would have thought that you'd be smarter than to let that. So what if we said, instead of spawning empty, if we just spawned spatial bundle. Spatial bundle default. Like, surely not if I give you a thing where you get a thing. It could be this whole, like, editors not being used, because... Well, it's not complaining anymore, so I don't get that. Why is Belly not inserting things? Nope, there it is. An entity with a global transform and a compute visibility. Which entity, though? It must be you. Spawn spatial bundle default. I feel like Belly at some point does set the parent. Like, I feel like the code I had originally where I said parent should work. Well, it didn't complain this time, but this is still wrong and whatnot. We were 100 pixels by 100 pixels, so if I said like despawn keep children, oh, well. Okay, here's one issue I see with this. When I click level editor, there's these two, which I believe are the actual editor objects, and then there's this, which is, by the looks of it, the actual button, which puts you at 0, 0. So that's hilarious because that's not where I want to go. That's kind of implying, well, first off, that the entity thing here doesn't work. I thought that was how you set it, but maybe it's something else. So we go control F. Entity. Spawn, maybe I've been spelling it wrong. Entity passed using curly braces or using entity parameter. So I can pass it via curly braces. That might be a smarter way to do it. Okay, maybe I was just spelling it wrong. And because it's a parameter, it didn't care, because it's saying like any parameter can be passed in, because it's up to the component to consume it or pass it on. Hey, okay. Boop, 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 boop. So you pass in editor like that, which means I'm wondering if that means that I can go back to spawning this as empty. Empty. Are you going to have a fit now? Because having this empty is just so much nicer in the grand scheme of things, because I'm not like spawning crap. Okay, yeah, so I can go back to you being empty. Did Bev even print any errors? No. So one thing we probably want to do is say that like an icon's actually only 32 instead of 100. You know, like 32 by 32, and then we might want to say like padding. No, margin. Padding. Is padding inward? I don't know. That's the problem. I don't remember HTML well enough. Also, why are you so big? Your size is only 32. What about you? I mean, yeah, you're 32. Why the hell are you so big? Well, I guess it's also not... Well, the icon needs to be 32. But let me go here. We also want more than just your icon. I guess we would go up here. We would say in this, we would say icon, and then also icon dot image, and go. Did that make it smaller? Hey, it did make it smaller. Yay. Okay. So it's also the editor. We want to go to the editor here. We want to go. Yes. Hello, editor. You need a padding of like 25. Yeah, there we go. All right. So now I need to make it so that when you're clicked, which I guess isn't that hard to do, if spawning events work how I think they work. So we go back to our square and we go on press equals run ctx like that, and then we want to go ctx dot commands dot add world new world, do that, and then we want to say something like world dot, I don't know what's happened to my IntelliSense, it's all just vanished. Send event, and then we want to say it's up here, map item, event writer, map event. Map event. And that's the only map event at the moment. Where is it? Come on, map event. Where's our map event gone? Map event, and the only thing we have is spawn. Map event spawn, and then it's going to be box new, and then we want u, which is a map box. And then yes, we want all of this information. So offset is going to be vector default. Width is going to be 1, height is going to be 1, and material is going to be brick. Okay, so each of these need to go back to this. Right. So that'll send a spawn event. It'll also, we want to say something like world okay. So when I resolve these world events, right, like somewhere here we call like spawn map objects, which consumes these, and then it says spawn. So we say object.clone and then we go spawn. So spawn should return an optional entity. Yes, okay. So then we're going to say when we're spawning these objects, wherever that was. Yeah. The bottom here, when we're spawning these objects, we're going to say we need also load map event.send spawn. Okay, no, it's not you, it's map event spawn. Where is it? The map event. It's in here. When we spawn, okay, so when we spawn into these objects, we're going to say we need to say state map state game state, and say if okay, we're going to say let entity equal that, like so, and then we're going to say let state no, if state dot 0 dot get equals game state level editor. We just say commands dot ins. Let's let new last equals none. Okay, well then we'll say like if entity dot is sum then last equals entity, just so we don't overwrite ones with old ones. And then when we get to the end here and we say if let me say if state dot get equals game state level editor commands dot insert resource Edit. It's going to be like crate editor. The fuck? Why is there so much stuff in here? Level root. No. We need a resource. Last obj. This is going to be an option entity. And this is going to be public. And this is going to be public. I'm going to say last obj is equal to last. Okay. Okay, so game state, copy. Okay. So that works that if this tiles that spawn on. What do you mean can't do this? Keep finding spots where this hasn't been updated to the new syntax. Which is weird. Okay, why are you complaining? You're saying that, oh, because it needs to be res. Res state, game state, okay. Game state in a public interface. Okay. Well, what you do then is you just say pub crate. Okay. Okay. Run. Okay, so we go level editor, and then we click this, and it goes. It spawned it. Did it spawn it in though? Oh, it is spawning it in. Just at 0, 0. Oh, when I reset the map, it must reset the map or something? Yeah. Okay. So we could spawn in the block. They all spawn at 0, 0. So then we need to set up the other editor. So this is setup editor. And then this is, we're going to say something like fn set up props. Okay. And then we're going to say this takes in struct. Last, which is going to be a res. What was it called? Last spawned or something? Last obj. Last obj. And we're going to say app.addSystems update. And this is going to say setup props dot run if resource changed. Was it last obj? Alright. So setup props runs. Okay, so we're going to need our elements, which is just elements. Okay, like so. And then our elements. So first thing we do is we're going to say obj change. So elements dot select and this is going to be everything. Let me go to the cleanup window. Everything in here that's inside object editor. And then it's something like space wild. This should remove. Okay. This needs to be mutable. Right. So that's for the test purposes. We're going to spawn in. When I spawn this, we're going to say label. Label with a value equal to test. Right. Close this. So it's not a capital L, that's a lowercase l, thank you. Right. So what's going to happen here is when I spawn a prop, if this works correctly, it will despawn the test label, which will basically imply that it's not despawning them until after I've spawned an object, so that I can know that this is right. Oh, something went wrong. I think it's, I'm assuming it's resource, right. It's probably something to do with you play menu editor. So it's not, it's resource changed exists and changed. Okay, so it won't run if the resource doesn't exist. Cool. Okay, so we go to our level editor. This doesn't say test apparently, which is annoying. Right. Did it ever say test? That is the question. It probably did. Alright, we'll just work on it like this. Okay. For now we'll just be like, yeah, hello. Mostly because I'm getting a bit impatient and I kind of want to end the stream, but I don't want to end it on a not finished implementing stuff. So when this runs, it does that. If last dot is none, if last dot 0 dot is none, do this, else do this. Okay, so this is going to say like elements dot select, and then we're going to select this object here, right? We're going to say you, and then we're going to say add child elm, like that. We're going to say this is just going to spawn in a label with a value equal to spawn add object to well to see props. It's props. Add object, add select object, add select object to see its props. Okay, like that, like that. Okay, else do nothing. So now that should bring back the functionality I was looking for, where when it spawns first in, it should have this bit of text saying, you know, click or remove. Click on an object to add or remove props, and then from there we will then work on making it display the correct props. So we get a level editor. It's still not displaying shit. That's annoying. Well, wait, but it's not. I said exists and changed. Why is it constantly changing? Because I'm just checking to see if I'm in editor mode and then immediately setting it to none. Okay. Fuck you. How do I go about this? I think, where was it? It was in here. It's and last dot is sum. There. Now it won't do anything, like it won't remove the entity unless it's none. Like unless it's sum. So unless an object actually spawns, it won't update the last spawned object. Hey, it says test. Then I spawned that in and it disappeared. Okay. That is good. Das is good. Because that means that when I go to editor here, then I can go here and I can say, we want to probably go something along the lines of, do we keep a reference to your properties? I think so, because I think part of spawning you is that we then attach your properties. So we need to go like, yeah, you. You, texture sprite as transform visibility, control handle, rigid bottle, map item. Map item. Map item. Is map item a flag or is map item the trait? Mod. Map item. Map item? Map? Okay, let's search the whole thing. Map item. Map item. So that's just a marker component, so that doesn't help. So we go here, we go here, we go. Each of these. Map box. Okay, so you actually attach the corresponding. So that's probably not the best idea. Map item should probably have a wrapped version of the box. Okay, so we're going to say something like, where is it? Let's find map item again. Map item. You are going to have a wrapped box dyn map object. The trait bound map object. Okay, so you don't get default anymore. Alright, so then we track down the errors and we go, okay. Yep, map item does not satisfy default, so you just can't have default anymore. Well, I guess it can satisfy default. What you do is you go, well, we got to implement default. For cell bundle, and then we go, hello, yes, we want to go fn default cell bundle, and then all of these, we're just going to go, I guess here, cargo fmt, and then we're going to go, for default, all of these are going to get default, except you are going to become a map item map box new empty default map item, default map item, and then we're going to go struct default map item, and then we're going to import map object for default map item, and we're just going to, apparently it doesn't implement reflect. Okay, derive reflect. Yep, you're missing all sorts of things, so we're going to go do. Okay, spawn. You just return none. You don't spawn anything. Object type. Map object type. Empty. Okay. Why are you saying so? If empty, map object type box empty, do nothing. You literally return nothing. We want to go out of here into here. Go. Okay. So object type is a self levels map object type empty serialize returns. Bevy reflect surdy serializable owned. Well, wait, no, shouldn't you just call self dot serializable? I feel like that should be automatically no, it's reflect serializable dot expect empty. No, we'll just it's do this this okay, yeah, so you just return a unit, so you don't print anything. Clone just returns box new default map item, and draw UI just does nothing. For now, okay, so that means that we just have a default map item, and all of these should also just be underscored. So, all right. So with that, we can now spawn our box. So we spawn it, and then so when we say spawn the box, we say match, do all this, we do all this, and then we say, okay, and then we say map item is a map item new self, and then you don't do this. Well, I guess apparently you dereference self. And that's what I want you to do on each layer. So map item, we're going to have a import map item fn new, which takes in a item which import map object and returns a map item. And then we say map item box new map item. Just make things easier. We need this to be public new. Okay, so yeah, apparently YouTube's not receiving enough data. What are we doing? So we're going to the square and we're saying, hey square, do this on every single one. And then also, with children, okay. So on one by one, you need to do the same thing, being like, hello here, we need to say map item new, self. Spawn, so with children can go away. And 202 does this self. And then with children, and anything data is not supported yet. All right. Right, so then when I say run, what are you going to do? Okay. Well, it spawns that box, okay. Square. So, it spawns it properly. What's next? Does the tile map object, you have UI update self func. Okay, that doesn't seem correct. No, well, kind of. fn draw underscore props props mutable commands, and well, what we'll do is we're going to default implement this and say well, it seems like the stream has to come to an end, but basically it's just going to spawn a default like no properties implemented for type, and then I'll have like custom code buttons for each object. But anyway, thanks for watching. I will see